Welcome to Cooking Companion TV and this recipe demo of Persian orange almond cake. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. This recipe comes from taste.com.au, yay Australia, and it's naturally gluten and dairy free. Between the eggs and the almond flour, you've got a lot of protein and healthy fat, and it's so aromatic. It begs for a strong coffee or hot tea. The ingredients are very easy to find, but uniquely used, so I'm eager for you to try this. For instance, we boil whole oranges. Never heard of doing this before, but it's quite similar to the candied orange peel process. Cover the whole orange with water and boil for 15 minutes, and then drain and repeat at least 2 more times. This is getting the bitterness out of the orange rind. And since you're consuming the whole fruit, I strongly recommend organic oranges, or at least find a source that uses little to no pesticides, and scrub the orange before cooking just to be thorough. While the oranges boil, let's prep the pans. Grease the sides of a springform pan and line the bottom with parchment paper. As you can see here, I'm using my favorite tiny pans. These are about 4 inches wide. My plan is to make several little cakes and freeze them for future use. I also ended up using a well-greased loaf pan with this batter for a little morning coffee cake. And after 3 15-minute boils, we'll coarsely chop the oranges and puree them, everything, in a food processor. It took me a full minute to reach a solid puree state. And then pour it in a bowl and set it aside. Now we'll whisk together eggs and castor sugar until the mixture is pale and thick. It took me nearly 5 whole minutes with my stand mixer on high or on the 8 setting. Castor sugar granules are smaller than regular granulated sugar, and American recipes don't use it often. It's not quite as powdery as confectioner's sugar, and you can make it at home by running regular granulated sugar in the food processor for about a minute. With our thick and pale egg mixture, we'll add the almond flour and then baking soda, cinnamon, and ground cardamom. It is gorgeous. And the pureed orange. Now gently fold these ingredients into the wet mixture, and I say gently because the egg mixture can collapse from overbeating. So get everything well incorporated, smash any clumps of almond flour. Now if you're new to almond flour, it is literally ground almonds. There's no wheat flour, just finely ground almonds, and it makes decadent desserts. It can't be substituted for regular flour as a gluten-free substitution. No, I'll reiterate, it cannot. So just find really awesome almond flour cakes like this and leave behind those regular wheat flour cakes. Now ladle the batter into your pan and smooth down the top. We'll bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius for an hour. While it bakes, let's work on the syrup topping because it needs a little while to cool before it can be used. I'm cheating a little by using leftover orange syrup from my candied orange peels. You can see the sugar crystals that have formed, so I added a little water to the syrup and I'm gently reboiling it to liquefy the crystals. Once it's thickened up, add a touch of orange blossom water, which is a very unique ingredient. Don't expect to find it easily, but honestly, the syrup without it will be great. As the name suggests, the flavor is very floral, and it can easily overwhelm whatever you're using it on. I've included instructions from the original recipe in case you didn't save your orange syrup. Regardless of how you make your syrup, set it aside off the heat to let it cool before using it on the cakes. And when they're ready, a skewer will come out clean when inserted into the middle. I love that my skewer is basically a stretched out paper clip with a silicone handle, and that I actually bought a tool specifically for testing cake doneness. Apparently, I'll buy anything. Once the cakes have cooled and you can remove them from the pan, you may need to separate the cake from the sides ever so gently. And then you can drizzle the syrup on the cake. You can also serve the cake with a dollop of mascarpone cheese. We used to do a thing in the South where we'd mix sour cream with powdered sugar and dip strawberries in it, and I kind of want to do that with this cake. but I restrained myself. And yes, I took a slice of cake before drizzling the syrup. I wanted to see if the cake really needed it. So it's good without the syrup, but it is better with it. Again, this is a really special cake with the orange and cinnamon and cardamom and then the almond flour. It's not as dry as you might expect. It is moist. And I know some of you will hate that word, but I really don't know how else to say it. So whatever, as usual, the ingredients and directions are at cookingcompaniontv.com, and I'll include the original link as well. That's it for this video. I'm Jenna Edwards, and thanks for watching.